Have you ever noticed the ones who speak the least are the ones everyone watches? They walk into a room and without a word, people feel them. Not because they begged for attention, but because they earned it when no one was watching. Push yourself silently, and you won't need to chase respect, you'll command it. Because while others are addicted to being seen, real power is built where no one claps. When you train your mind to endure quietly, when you suffer, struggle, and rise without needing applause, you create a kind of strength the world cannot ignore. Weak men talk, strong men transform in silence and let results make the noise. This world doesn't reward noise, it rewards consequence, and the most feared consequence is a man who doesn't flinch, doesn't fold, and doesn't brag. You don't need likes, you don't need validation, you need discipline, mystery, and a mission so powerful it outgrows the need to be understood. This is Stoic Spark. And what you're about to hear isn't motivation, it's the mindset of wolves. It's how you become untouchable. Number 1, the illusion of loud success. We live in a world where noise is confused for power. People post every workout, every win, every ounce of effort, like they're auditioning for validation. But here's the truth. The more you talk, the less you're doing. The louder you are, the more fragile you seem. Why? Because real strength doesn't need confirmation. It knows what it is, even in silence. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire on earth, but he journaled in private, not for praise. He believed in inner mastery, not external approval. While emperors flaunted their wealth, he examined his flaws. Understand this, the ones who yell their goals never reach them. Because their energy is wasted on perception, not progress. They chase applause instead of chasing excellence. But you're not built for shallow claps. You're here to build something untouchable. So push yourself silently, stop announcing, start ascending, and if you're already on that path, drop a comment right now that says, "Silence builds power. Let the weak chase views, you chase victory." Number 2, why respect is never given, only taken. Respect isn't something you're handed, it's something you extract from the world, from your circle, from yourself. And the ones who wait to be respected are the same ones who die invisible. Nobody respects potential. They respect pressure, pain, consistency. They respect results that don't require explanation. And here's the part they won't tell you. The world watches how you treat yourself. If you let yourself slack, if you break your own word, if you can't even follow through when no one's watching, then why should anyone take you seriously? Respect starts in silence. It starts when you say no to comfort, when you wake up early and train alone, when you study while everyone else scrolls, when you work on your purpose like it's the only thing that exists. You can't command anything outside of you until you master everything inside of you. Push yourself silently. And when they see who you've become, they won't question it, they'll feel it. If that hits you, comment right now, "I lead myself first," because that's what earns respect. And it's never given, it's taken by those who stop asking and start becoming. Number 3, the power of Stoic restraint. Restraint is the highest form of power. Anyone can react, anyone can explode. But it takes a different breed to remain unmoved, unbothered, calm in the chaos. That's Stoicism, and it's not weakness. It's control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Understand what that means. If someone can trigger you, they can own you. If a critic can ruin your day, you never had discipline to begin with. The strongest men don't react to disrespect, they rise above it. because they know this world is a test, and every emotional reaction is a leak in their armor. That's why you must train your mind like a soldier. Silence the impulse. Resist the urge to defend yourself. Don't explain. Don't announce. Don't perform. Restraint makes you unpredictable, and in a world full of emotionally chaotic people, the one who stays still commands the most respect. If you're building that kind of mental strength, type it now in the comments. I control my fire. Let them burn themselves out trying to get a reaction. You stay cold, focused, forward. Number 4, the psychology of being unreadable. The moment they can read you, they can control you. The second they know what gets to you, what excites you, what scares you, what offends you, you've already given away leverage. But when you're unreadable, you become unpredictable, and unpredictable men are dangerous. In dark psychology, there's a term, emotional ambiguity. It means keeping your internal state hidden so no one can manipulate it. It's not about being cold. It's about being invisible where it matters most. Smile when you're doubted. Stay calm when provoked. Never let them see the storm, even if it's raging behind your eyes, because the second you reveal your emotional playbook, you give them a way in. Let your silence speak. Let your results sting. Let your moves confuse. When people don't know what you're thinking, they project fear, respect, and mystery onto you. That's how kings operate. That's how you stay in power. So push yourself silently. Train your face to be unreadable. Train your emotions to be unshakable. And train your habits to speak louder than your mouth ever could. If this is the level you're rising to, comment below. They'll never read me. Because that's when you become untouchable. Number 6. Silence as a strategic weapon. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's a signal that says, I don't need to prove anything. I've already decided who I am. While others chase attention like addicts, your silence becomes your sword. It disarms the loud, it exposes the insecure, and it leaves the manipulators with nothing to grab onto. Machiavelli understood this well. He who does not reveal himself gains advantage over those who do, because silence creates space, and in that space, people fill the void with their own fear, their own curiosity, their own respect. You want to know why some people are instantly taken seriously? Because they don't beg for relevance. They withhold. They give no energy to nonsense. They don't comment back. They don't explain their ambition. They just move, calculated, precise, focused. Your silence becomes a psychological mirror. It reflects their insecurities while hiding your next move. And the more they guess, the more power you hold. So don't broadcast, don't warn them, don't reveal the battle you're fighting in the dark. Win it, then stand tall, not to boast, but to command what's already yours. If you're starting to weaponize your silence, say it below. Quiet minds build loud empires. Number 6, let them underestimate you. Let them think you're average. Let them believe you're harmless. Let them confuse your silence with weakness. Because in a world addicted to showing off, the one who shows nothing becomes the biggest threat. You don't need to correct their assumptions. You let them write your obituary while you write your legend. Because when people underestimate you, they let their guard down. And that is the greatest strategic advantage of all. The Roman general Fabius Maximus understood this better than anyone. He earned the nickname Cunctator, the delayer, because he refused to fight Hannibal head-on. People mocked him, laughed at his caution, but in the end, his patience outlasted every enemy. And history remembers him as the one who tamed the untamable. So why rush to prove yourself? Why scream your progress into a crowd that isn't listening? Let them doubt. Let them gossip. Let them mistake your silence for surrender, because while they're busy watching someone else, You're building in the dark. You're sharpening your weapon. You're becoming something they'll never be ready for. You know what they don't? Pressure doesn't announce itself. It breaks bones in silence. You know what else? Respect isn't earned by demanding attention. It's earned by outlasting the noise, by showing up every single day, when no one's watching, when no one believes, when no one claps. Every ignored win, every quiet representative, every silent sacrifice. That's the real flex. That's the invisible grind that will one day make you untouchable. Here's the paradox. If you try to be seen too soon, they'll bury you in doubt. But if you let them underestimate you long enough, you'll bury them in proof. Let them label you. Let them call you soft. Let them laugh when you say nothing at all. Because every second they waste doubting you is a second you spend building the version of you that doesn't need to say a damn word. And when that version arrives, the room will fall silent. They won't clap. They won't celebrate. They'll feel exposed. Because while they were watching each other, you were watching yourself. Here's where dark psychology kicks in. Being underestimated lulls people into comfort. It makes them predictable, lazy, overconfident. They think they've figured you out. They think you're no threat. Perfect. Now you strike, not with fists, but with presence. Not with noise, but with unignorable proof. That's when their egos crack. That's when their eyes widen. That's when the respect they never gave you shows up uninvited. Not because you asked for it, but because you became someone they can't ignore. And they'll wonder, how did you do it? When did it happen? Where were you hiding all this strength? But you weren't hiding. You were building. You were too focused on becoming powerful to waste time looking powerful. That's the Stoic way. That's how legends walk. They don't scream into crowds. They don't need loud entrances. They arrive, and the air changes. That's what underestimation sets you up for. It allows you to grow without pressure, to fail in peace, to evolve without eyes on you. Because let's be honest, growth under the spotlight is a trap. When everyone's watching, you start performing. You start adjusting to opinion instead of truth. But when no one expects anything from you, you're free to become everything. So don't correct them. Don't rush to prove your value. Let them misread you. Let them mock your silence. Let them think the war is over when your strategy hasn't even started. Because one day, they'll remember the name they laughed at. They'll replay the moment they overlooked you. And they'll realize, too late, that the man they ignored became the man they can't escape. You don't rise by convincing people. You rise by becoming undeniable, and the path to that version of you, it's paved in silence, in rejection, in doubt, in discipline. So push yourself silently. Let your work go unnoticed for now. Let your wins stack in private. Let your transformation remain your secret weapon, because in the end, the man who can suffer quietly, grow ruthlessly, and move without noise is the man they all end up chasing. And when that day comes, when they finally see you, you won't even need to speak. Your evolution will do the talking. So if you're embracing this mindset, declare it now in the comments. Type, "Doubt me now, watch me later." Let it burn into your identity. Let it remind you that being underestimated isn't an insult. It's a strategic gift. And you are becoming a storm they never saw coming. Number 7, commanding respect without seeking it. You don't chase respect. You become someone who makes it unavoidable. Because the second you start asking for respect, you've already lost it. Respect isn't something you beg for. It isn't granted by permission. It's a consequence of how you carry yourself when no one's clapping. It's in how you walk, how you hold silence, how you set boundaries without a single word. Real respect is earned by alignment. When your actions match your words. when your values guide your decisions, when your presence walks into the room 5 minutes before you do. And here's the truth most people ignore. If you seek respect by performing, you'll become a puppet. If you seek it by force, you'll become a tyrant. But when you seek nothing, when your life becomes a silent display of unshakable discipline, unbreakable self-control, and ruthless consistency, respect follows. They watch how you operate when it's inconvenient. They watch how you react when you're provoked. And most importantly, they watch how you hold your line when it would be easier to bend. Commanding respect begins where comfort ends. Look at any high-value man. You'll notice something. He doesn't explain, he doesn't justify, he doesn't overshare, because he doesn't need to. His actions echo. His standards speak louder than his mouth ever could. This is where Stoic philosophy and dark psychology align perfectly, because respect isn't just about how they see you. It's about how you've trained yourself to move, speak, and decide with clarity. Marcus Aurelius never had to yell. Epictetus didn't try to convert people. They embodied the truth, calm, disciplined, still. That's what power looks like when it's real. And dark psychology, it teaches us this. The less you reveal, the more they project. When people can't read your emotional triggers, they imagine them. When you don't validate their games, they escalate. And when you stay unshaken, they submit. That's not arrogance, that's command. You don't need to dress loud. You don't need to fake confidence. You need presence. You need a body built by discipline, a mind forged in solitude, and a purpose so sharp it slices through every distraction. Respect is built when you train yourself to not react to disrespect, not explain your standards, not seek agreement, and still walk tall when the room turns against you, because your validation comes from within. And that's what shakes people. They can't move you, they can't control you, they can't figure you out. And what they can't understand, they start to respect. This is why pushing yourself silently works, because silence strips away the noise. It forces you to face yourself, to build without the reward, to suffer without the spotlight. And that kind of power, internal, tested, consistent, radiates. People feel it before they hear it. And when they do hear it, it's already too late. You've already become the man who doesn't ask for respect. He simply commands it. But here's the mistake the world makes. They think respect comes from domination, from controlling others, from appearing superior. That's not real. True respect is rooted in self-governance. If you can't rule yourself, no one will ever follow you. If you fold under stress, if you explode when triggered, if you betray your own word, why should anyone take you seriously? Start there. Train your mind to be disciplined when no one's watching. Control your emotions when it's hardest to stay calm. Execute your plans when quitting feels easier, because when you do that consistently, you develop authority, not over others, but over yourself. And when people see that kind of mastery, they respect it instinctively. You want to command respect? Don't fake alpha energy. Build it. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Let your words be rare but sharp. Let your silence carry weight. There's a reason kings don't yell. Their stillness carries judgment. Their calm triggers obedience. And if you want that kind of presence, stop asking, stop hoping, stop waiting, become it. Push yourself silently. Move without needing praise. Win without warning. Let your life speak, because in the end, they won't remember the ones who tried to impress them. They'll remember the ones who never needed to, if you're becoming that kind of man. If you're locking in, mastering yourself and building silently, then declare it now in the comments. I don't ask, I become. Let that phrase remind you that commanding respect is never about volume, it's about weight. And real weight comes from silence, discipline, and self-mastery. Number 8. The legacy of quiet strength. Loud men leave noise, quiet men leave legacy. Think about that. The world celebrates those who speak the most, but remembers those who moved in silence and reshaped reality, because noise fades. But quiet strength, that echoes for generations. Marcus Aurelius didn't need a crowd. His meditations, written in solitude, have outlasted empires. Epictetus, once a slave, became a master of minds, not by shouting, but by living with unmatched clarity, discipline, and purpose. They didn't perform, they didn't chase fame, they just were, and the world adjusted around them. That's the legacy you're building if you keep walking this path. Not one of followers, but of impact. Not one of likes, but of lasting power. When you push yourself silently, you're not just achieving goals, you're developing something far more important: reputation built on reality. And reputation built on reality can't be bought, faked, or destroyed, because it's forged in the fire of isolation, strengthened through trial, sharpened in the absence of applause. Quiet strength doesn't seek validation. It doesn't need to explain itself. It just becomes a force. The man who trains when no one's watching, who works when there's no deadline, who disciplines himself when excuses whisper in his ear. That man becomes legendary, not because he shouted louder, but because when the world finally saw him, it realized he was already built. Let others exhaust themselves trying to be seen. You focus on becoming someone who can't be ignored. Because the most respected men in history weren't loud, they were immovable. Their presence said everything, their actions said more, and their silence, that was their armor. When you choose the silent path, you choose the hard path, but it's the one that leads to greatness. Because silence filters out the weak. Only the disciplined survive without applause, and when you finally arrive, fully formed, fully grounded, they'll ask how you did it, and you'll simply nod. Because legacy doesn't come with explanations, it comes with presence. So keep pushing, keep building, keep choosing the lonely path, the quiet grind, the uncelebrated work, because one day your silence will become the standard. Your life, the blueprint, your story, the reason someone else chooses strength over noise. If that's the legacy you're creating, comment below. I build in silence, I last forever. And remember, quiet strength doesn't ask to be remembered. It simply becomes unforgettable. You've heard the noise, you've seen the performance, you've watched the world reward the loud, the fake, the desperate. But now, you know better. The real ones move different. They push themselves silently. They let their discipline do the talking. And they command respect, not by chasing it, but by becoming someone who makes it impossible to withhold. That's the path you're on now. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be seen. You're here to build power. Power that doesn't flinch. Power that doesn't fold. Power that speaks through presence. When you walk into a room, they should feel that you've suffered, that you've sacrificed, that you've endured more than they can imagine, and never once asked for sympathy. That's what Stoic strength is. That's what psychological dominance looks like. And that's what turns a man from noise into a symbol. So remember this: let them doubt you, let them ignore you, let them speak while you work. Because in time, the silence you suffered in will become the silence they fall quiet in. Not out of fear, out of respect. You don't need a stage. You need standards. You don't need applause. You need absolute alignment. So keep pushing, keep training, keep walking the lonely path. Because when your time comes, when your silence finally roars, you won't need to say a word. If you're walking this path with me, drop it one final time in the comments. I build in silence. I last forever. Let that be your declaration. Now, if this message hit you, if something inside of you just clicked, then do this. Like this video so we spread this mindset to those who need it. Subscribe to Stoic Spark if you're ready to lead your life with quiet power. And turn on the notifications because we're just getting started. Every week we sharpen minds, strengthen hearts, and build men who don't need to scream to be respected. You've wasted enough time seeking validation. Now it's time to earn reputation. And you do that by pushing yourself silently until the world can't help but listen. Stay sharp. Stay silent. Stay dangerous. This is Stoic Spark, and your transformation has already begun.